Hi, thanks for joining in. My name is Basha and welcome to my channel. In today's video I would like to show you just a few orchids that I've got currently in flower and just to document those particular orchids. So the first one of course is gonna be Phalaenopsis, and this particular one is called Summer Dance. Now this is a quite big Phalaenopsis with a lot of leaves. Let me just show you. And just here, so it's quite space requiring Phalaenopsis. Quite extensive, as you can see, a root system there. Now, I don't know what's going on with it this year, and I'm not sure if that is a virus. However, I can see some breakage on the color on the flowers, but it's so consistent that it's actually happening in almost every flower, as you can see. So I'm thinking it could be just the beauty of this orchid. I don't remember if it flowered for me before. I remember I got it in flower, but then again I don't remember how the flower looked like. This is a beautiful Phalaenopsis with colors that are quite pastel. As I'm looking at the flowers, they're more of a kind of lavender on cream type of flowers. Obviously the camera is translating completely different and the flowers looking quite vivid, but it's a beautiful Phalaenopsis and with beautiful flowers. They're not fragrant, not that I can remember. I certainly cannot feel the fragrance now. It's quite cold here in UK, and this particular orchid is growing on my windowsill. So obviously there is no light at the moment. There is a very minimal light. There is no sunshine, so I cannot tell whether it's fragrant or not, and I don't really remember whether it was. I need to have a little look on the internet. So this is the first orchid that I've got in flower. This is the next one. This is a Rykel Stylis Gigantea variety cartoon. Now this is the new one for me. I did have this particular orchid in my care before. However, I managed to kill it, and then the second one as well, followed the same fate. So I never actually managed to bloom, never managed to grow properly, letting alone bloom. So this is the first for me. I've got this, I purchased this one, I think it was about a year ago, or maybe a bit longer, from Spiceotics, my all-time favorite seller. And I had it in bloom, so it arrived with flowers. Since then, I managed to rebloom it. It's got one, as you can see, one blasted bud, but apart from that, it's pretty amazing. As you can see, the flower spike, it's not very long, and the flower buds, the flowers are very tightly placed together. I'm just gonna zoom in really quickly. Those are the flowers, so kind of white, maybe creamy white, with those gorgeous magenta spots. Again, the camera is translating the color different. This is a lot darker in reality, the color of the magenta. The fragrance, now for the fragrance, it has got slightly undertones, so it smells kind of fruity-ish with a little bit, tiny maybe hit of vanilla, and then this kind of undertone of burnt plastic. I did hear previously that this orchid does flower, and the flowers have got this scent of, I don't know, there's a beautiful, they release beautiful fragrance, and at the same time that fragrance has a little bit of an undertone, and I would say this definitely is the truth. It's hard to describe this one, really hard to describe. The fragrance is quite strong. This one is growing under my grow lights and is releasing a fragrance, and the fragrance is quite strong, and it is kind of smelling weird. Honestly, I can't describe it, but nevertheless the flowers are gorgeous. If you don't mind the fragrance, then definitely I recommend to get that one, to add this orchid to your collection. The flowers are beautiful, and I don't know how many flowers is on the spike, but there is quite a few. The spike itself is quite big, I would say, and this is how it flowers. I mean, I love this type of flowers. Now the next one is also my first time flowering, I'm not sure what's going on with the flowers. This particular one is called Vanda lamellata cross to Vanda sucsamran gold. Now I'm not sure what's going on with the flowers, because as you can see, it did have a nice flower spike and then this happened. So clearly they're blasting. I don't know if they kind of got some sort of disease, those buds, because they are kind of very dried out. And the flowers, as you can see, they're not opening fully. I've got some more blasted here, but it had a beautiful flower spike and it was developing very nice. Now what I can sense when I'm touching, it's full of sap, so it's that sticky substance that orchid is releasing. So maybe that is causing the blast of the flowers. I'm not really sure, but this is the flower. So it's kind of yellowy greenish, with it's supposed to have a really nice yellow lip with the stripes, but I can't really tell because the flowers are not fully open. I'm not sure if they will open at all. So yes, it's kind of disappointment. But I mean, it's the first time. No, actually, not first time. I can see here there are some spent flower spikes. So it's not flowering the first time, but it's the first time flowering for me. It could be just a change in my care. When I bought it, I think it was last winter, and yeah, I don't know. It could be that. I think it did suffer with it had a little spotting from the cold damage. So it could be just, that it's quite fussy Vanda and it's taking its time to recover. And nevertheless, it sent me the flower spike. I'm hoping those flowers gonna open, and I'm hoping I can see whether it is fragrant or not. But this is the next flowering orchid. On to the next one, and this is Cymbidium. I think it's, let me just double check. I'm just gonna double check. This is Cymbidium Springwind, and this I can't take credit for those flowers because it arrived to me in spike, and I think it's got like 5 spikes or something. These flowers and the spikes are still growing and developing, but this is how it looks like. It's beautiful. I mean, the colors are definitely changing on those flowers. And again, as you can see, I don't know what's going on. I mean, I was away for the weekend, and it seems to be like all my flower spikes kind of are blasting on the ends. Anyway, so I've got some here as well still to grow, and I've got another, I think, 4 to open, but this one that opens the first, and this is how it looks like. The flowers kind of opening a little bit, kind of like a yellowy color with orangey, burnt orange hue, and then they transfer into this gorgeous kind of pink. So yeah, and they are one of those Cymbidiums that change colors. So I'm pretty happy with this one. I can't sense any fragrance again. Actually no, I can smell something. I can smell kind of like a fresh scent, but it's not a very strong one. But nevertheless, the flowers are gorgeous. The next is my no ID Vanda, and this one has flowered for me, I think 4 or 5 times now. It just keeps sending flower spikes. I'm not sure why. Is it because it's desperate to reproduce or is it just desperate? Or maybe it's just very happy in my care. I'm not quite sure. But the flowers are not big. They're fragrant. They smell a little bit like Listerine. But obviously I love the color. The petals and sepals are pulled back quite significantly, I have to say. As you can see here on the profile of the flower, it's the sepals and petals are really pulled back. The lip is straightforward. So it's kind of weird flower shape. I don't know where is this trait coming from. But the flower color, I love it. It's kind of orangey, burnt orangey with yellow, and obviously the lip is raspberry in color. It's absolutely stunning. I love it. The fragrance, like I said, is not my favorite one, but it's not strong, so it's not very offending. So I do like this one, and obviously it's so it flowers all the time, and regardless the time of the year. So I'm pretty happy with it. I'm a little bit sad that I have a good idea on this Vanda, but it definitely is the one to keep. And those are the orchids that I have currently in my collections that are flowering. Now this time, as you can see, the camera is translating the color perfectly. So that's how pastel-y and yet vivid those colors are. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I have got more orchids in bud at the moment, so hopefully I'm gonna have flowers very soon. I've got some phalaenopsis that are still opening the buds, so I'll be waiting till they are fully open, and then I'm gonna make a video and show you what I have in bloom again. But for now, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.